everyone, today we're reading Tunneling to Freedom, The Great Escape from Stalag Luft 3, written by Nel Yomtov. So in this book, we're going to see how Allied Air Force officers escaped from a German prison camp in World War II and how many of them made it back to their homes safely. Now let's begin. Breakout, Spring 1943. My idea is to dig 3 tunnels at the same time and get about 500 men on the job. The Germans might find a couple, but we out to make it with at least one. Here's my plan. Squadron leader Roger Bushell of the British Royal Air Force proposed this idea to fellow prisoners. Each tunnel will be 30 feet deep and have a railway trolley. We'll call the tunnels Tom, Dick, and Harry. Tom and Dick will run out of the camp to the west. Harry will go north. What do you think? Sounds risky, but we're in. Once news of the escape spread, nearly everyone in the camp began stealing material for the tunnel's construction. These lats will come in handy to support the walls of the tunnel. We'll build the trolleys with them too. Give me a hand with this stuff. We'll dig the trapdoor for Harry under it. Each tunnel began in a different barracks or block. Digging was difficult, cave-ins were a constant threat. An air vent buried in the floor of the tunnel pumped in fresh air. The trolleys almost filled with dirt. I'll give a tug on the rope and have the boys reel it back to them. The heat is unbearable and the fumes from this oil lamp are sickening. To muffle the sound of digging, prisoners gathered together and sang loudly each day. Happy days are here again. Let's sing a song of cheer again. The dirt taken from the tunnels was put into cloth bags that were worn inside pant legs. When the men pulled a string, the bag opened and the dirt fell out onto the ground. Factories were set up to produce the material needed once the men escaped. A forgery department created new identities for each escapee. Letters and passes were forged to allow the men to travel through Nazi territories. The tailoring department was run by Tommy Guest and Ivo Tonder. Most of the tailors were Czech and Polish Air Force officers. Nice work on that suit, Ivo. Thanks, Tommy. That German uniform will pass for the real thing, too. I. Hake, an Australian pilot, was put in charge of the compass factory. Each man will need a compass to travel the countryside and reach his specific destination. Many materials came from greedy German guards. They traded tools, ink, pen inks, metal, clothing, and other goods for cans of meat or cigarettes. It's a pleasure doing business with you, Herr Clark. Enjoy the meat, Hans. It's a special delivery from the Red Cross. Watchers kept a sharp eye on the movements of every guard. The men used hand signals to warn each other of approaching Germans. The guards often searched the prisoners' barracks, but they found nothing. When the prisoners learned the new camp would be built over deck, they stopped work on the tunnel. Then the Germans found Tom. All work went into Harry, which was finished in March 1944. In early March, squadron leader Bushell spoke to his team. The escape will be March 24th. I've decided that only 200 men will try to make it out. It's too risky to try for more. March 24th, 1944, nighttime, Block 104. I've been told the tunnel will break out in the trees beyond the camp. Just behind one of the guard towers, I hear. The excitement is killing me. When are we leaving? I wonder what the Germans will do if they get their hands on us. Bob, Per, Jens, listen up. Dutch Flight Lieutenant Bob van der Stok. Norwegian Royal Air Force Sergeant Per Bergsland. Norwegian Royal Air Force Lieutenant Jens Muller. You guys have the best chance of reaching your destinations. You each speak perfect German and you've lived in Nazi-occupied territories. You know how the Germans think. Good luck to you all. Johnny Bull and Johnny Marshall were the first to enter Harry. Their job was to open the escape hatch at the end of the tunnel. Hurry up, boys, I've got 200 men itching to get out of here. Good thing we tapped into the Germans' electrical system. The men might panic if they had to be down here in total darkness. Minutes later, Marshall joined, but at the escape hatch behind them, many escapees were already in the tunnel. I can see the stars, Marshall. What a glorious sight. But wait, oh no! The tunnel is too short. We can't be short right out in the open. We're past the main fence, but not far enough into the woods. We can't put it off now. All the papers are date stamped. We've got to go now. I've got an idea. 10 feet from the hole is a patch of shrubs. We put a man there with a rope that leads back to the tunnel. When it's all clear, he gives a couple of tugs and the next bloke crawls out. Another rope will run from the shrubs to a meeting tree in the woods. At 10:30 at night, after 1 year of hard work, the escape began. Bull and Marshall were the first men out. Minutes later, Bushell reached the shrubs. Doesn't look too bad. I think it will be all right. Off you go. See you back home. Good luck. Meanwhile, the escape ran behind schedule. Bushell had wanted 20 men out every 3 minutes, but only 6 got out in the first hour. A large cave-in blocked the tunnel. More valuable time was lost on repairs. Some of the men did not tie their blanket rolls properly. Their escapee became jammed against the walls of the tunnel. It's already 2 in the morning and less than 50 of us have made it out. Here comes another. Get ready to make a run for the woods. It will be late soon. At this rate, we'll be lucky to get 100 out. At about 5 in the morning, with the dawn approaching, Ray Langlois manned the rope at the patch of shrubs. Suddenly, oh no, a guard! I have to tug on the ropes and let Trent and Shan know they're in danger. What, you? Bang! Don't shoot, guard, don't shoot! In the confusion, Mick Shan jumped up and dashed toward the trees for freedom. He didn't get far. Halt! Do not make me shoot you. Looks like the jig's up, boys. From my count, 76 of us made it out. Silence! The Nazis are going to have their hands full trying to catch Chum. We did all right after all. Another will soon find out how many rabbits are down this hole. Get out. Hello, chap. Within minutes, German guards swarmed into the woods to hunt the escapees. The Nazis captured 73 of the prisoners who escaped. 50 escapees, including Roger Bushell, the leader of the breakout, were executed. Only 3 men still had a chance for freedom. Soon after leaving the tunnel, Airman Bob van der Stock was stopped in the woods by a German soldier. Where do you think you are going? Can't you hear the air raid? The sirens? The Allies are dropping bombs on Berlin. Shriek! Well, his false identity was Hendrik Beeldman, a Dutch worker in a German company. He was supposedly on vacation traveling home to the Netherlands. You should be in a shelter. I know, but I am a Dutch worker and do not know where the shelter is. I was looking for the railway station when I heard the sirens. I thought it would be safer to hide in the woods. I'll show you the way to the station at Sagan. It is not far. I know many of these men from the camp, but with the policemen nearby, I better not show I recognize anyone. I'll buy my ticket to Breslau and try to blend in with the Germans in the crowd. You say you work at stalag Luft 3? Yes, in the administrative office. Well, good talking to you. My train will be arriving soon and I haven't bought my ticket yet. Have a safe trip. Nice chatting with you. Van der Stock had narrowly escaped a second run-in with the enemy. Phew, good thing I made it onto this train. The station will be crawling with the German soldiers in no time. If I'm lucky, the police won't be able to walk through these crowded cars to check my papers. By 5 in the morning, Van der Stock was in Breslau, Germany. I'd like tickets to Alkmaar in the Netherlands. Here are my traveling papers. Everything seems to be in order. Here are your tickets. Have a pleasant trip, Herr Beeldman. Thank you. The journey to the Netherlands required 3 train changes. At 10 in the morning, van der Stock arrived in Dresden, Germany. He decided to enjoy the city before his next train departed. Such a magnificent place. Its beauty is astounding. How has it managed to escape the horrors of this terrible war? Unfortunately, Dresden would not escape the horrors of World War II much longer. Less than 1 year later, Allied bombers reduced Dresden to a pile of rubble. Van der Stock boarded a train to Hanover that carried him to Denzal on the German-Netherlands border. When the train arrived, everyone was ordered off to have their papers inspected. I knew crossing the border would be the most dangerous part of my escape. By now, my picture has been sent to every Nazi post in the country. Papers and train tickets. Where to? Alkmaar. Alright, you may pass. Get back on the train. Phew, that was too close. There may be Nazis waiting for me at Alkmaar. I'll get off sooner at Utrecht and go to the home of one of my old teachers. Van der Stock remained in the Netherlands for 6 weeks. Some friends helped smuggle him into Belgium on a small boat. I'll ride to Brussels and stay with the family my friends told me about. From there, I can take a train to Paris and then Toulouse in France. Weeks later in Toulouse, Van der Stock met with a member of the French resistance, an anti-Nazi fighting group. For a fee, we will take you 3 refugees across the mountains into Spain. You will walk in single file in the darkness. Anyone walking out of the line will be shot. Agreed. Van der Stock sold his watch and gave the money to the Frenchman the next day. Beyond that mountain is Spain. Good luck. Hours later, Van der Stock was in Spain on his way to the British Embassy in Madrid. He was then flown back to England 4 months after his escape from Stalag Luft 3. The Nazis haven't heard the last from me. I'll be back. While Van der Stock made his escape, 2 Norwegians, Jens Muller and Per Bergsland, also headed to the Sagan train station at 2 in the morning. They planned to catch a train bound for Frankfurt, Germany. Sagan. From Frankfurt, they would take another train to the port of Stettin in Nazi-occupied Poland. There they would try to board a ship to Sweden where they would be free. Each man carried 2 sets of papers. Remember, Per, the first set says we are Norwegian electricians from Frankfurt working in Sagan. The second is for our journey from Frankfurt to Stettin. Those papers order us as the same electricians to change our place of work from Frankfurt to Stettin. Showing the wrong papers could mean certain death. The train from Sagan arrived at Frankfurt at 6 in the morning. 4 hours later, the 2 men boarded a train to Stettin. When we arrive in Stettin, we go to an address Roger Bushel gave us. Why? What does he expect us to find there? I don't know, but we must trust him. Muller and Bergsland arrived in Stettin at 1 in the afternoon. This is the address. Let's knock. Hey, you two, do you have any food to sell? None. Do you know any Swedish sailors? Yes, in this house. I'll bring one out. Perhaps you can spare some money? Agreed. We'll wait here. Speaking in Swedish, Muller and Bergsland took a risk. They told the sailor their real identities. And we need a ship to Sweden. I can help you. My ship is leaving tonight. Meet me here at 8 sharp. After meeting later that night, the sailors sneaked Muller and Bergsland to the ship's dock. Remember, wait for my signal, then sneak aboard the ship. The 2 men waited for many tense minutes. They saw no signal. Then, the ship, it's leaving without us. Have we been tricked? Quickly, let's get away from here. I see German soldiers patrolling the dock. After spending the night in a hotel, the 2 men spent the next day in a movie theater. That night, they returned to the house to try to meet another Swedish sailor who could help them. We can smuggle you onto our ship tonight. It sails in a day and a half. But we don't have the proper papers. How will we get past the German guards at the gates? Don't worry, the Germans will be tricked, but we need a plan. I see you've had too much to drink tonight, my friends. Are you all drunk? No? Still, I must see your papers. Our papers, yes. Foolish us. We left them on board our ship before we went out tonight. Come with us. We will show you. Bah! I don't have time for your drunks. Just go to your ship. I can't believe he fell for our drunken act. Squeeze into this anchor storage space. We'll bring you food now and then. The Germans will search this ship before they allow us to sail. You must remain quiet. If they find you, we will all be shot. The hours slowly passed. Then, clomp, 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 above us, German boots. Shine your light in this hole. There is nothing here to see. Let's check the rest of the ship. Come. Good Lord, that was close. A few hours later, the ship left Stettin. At 11 on the night of March 29th, it arrived at Gothenburg, Sweden. 5 days had passed since Bergsglen and Muller escaped Stalag Luft 3. We are home, gents. We are free. But our journey is yet over, Per. There is still much to do. The two men met with British officials in Gothenburg. A few days later, they were flown back to England. Once there, they boarded a train for London. I wonder what happened to the others. Do you think any made it to freedom too? I don't know. I hope so. Someday we'll find out. For us, it was the perfect escape. Thanks for listening. You could buy this book and read it, or you could get it at the library and read it. Bye. Thanks for listening. Please like and subscribe.